My name is Linda and I'm another writer. And I used to work for young people. I used to write books for young people. I tell people I've grown up. That seems a little bit unfair on the other, but I've just changed. And the last few years, instead of writing fiction for young people, I'm writing non-fiction for adults. And so I am also in the business, though, of needing to kind of convince people to explain quite easily and succinctly what it is I'm doing and kind of who I am with my new hat on, if you like. My last book, The Effect, was an exploration of the way in which modern science kind of supports and backs up a lot of notions that we thought of in the past as the spirituality. So it's looking at scientific explanations for things like life after death, or the power of human consciousness, or telepathy, or whatever. So quite a serious book, although I'd like to think I could write about things in a light-hearted way. But that research I did then really convinced me of the importance of really having much more spirituality in our lives, that we, in present times, have been led to see ourselves very much in a material sense as simply bodies to be fed and dressed and to prance around and look after so the whole purpose in life is to look after our bodies, and we seem to have lost the balance with the spiritual side of life. A lot of people have fallen out with the established churches and don't want to go there for their spiritual sustenance. So what I'm writing is a kind of self-help book about how to get more spirituality into our lives. And to do that, I'm obviously looking back at other people, writers, spiritual gurus, philosophers, who have something to share and to tell us about this. One of the people I've been looking at is Thoreau. Thoreau was an American writer, philosopher, poet, writing about in the 1840s. And he took himself away to a cabin in the woods, in Walden Woods, and as a kind of experiment in spiritual living to see what effect this isolation and simplification of his life would have. And he found some just amazing results for that. He found that his mind became so astute, that he was thinking so much more clearly, and that he had these moments of incredible kind of transcendence when he felt like in touch with the whole universe. He began to see much more clearly what was the way forward for him in the rest of his life, and he really plunged himself into the campaign for the abolition of slavery. And came up with all kinds of ideas about campaigning against the government. And these are ideas which are, being used more in this century than his, particularly by groups such as environmental groups and occupation, Occupy group, and civil disobedience movement, all those kind of things. He found that by having somewhere where we can take ourselves away for a while, by switching everything off and having a bit of silence, by simplifying, that all of us can achieve these kind of levels of awareness. And I'm aware that not everybody can do this. We don't have the luxury. We might not even want to go up and build a cabin in the woods. But I'm trying to look at ways in which we can inject his ideas into our lives, maybe little by little and bit by bit. So we might not spend 2 years in a cabin in the woods, but we might, have our own little tiny sanctuaries or places that we can go. Or we might do this in a kind of purely mental or meditative state. We might have our own little kind of sanctuary there as somewhere that we can mentally actually think, oh yeah, forget all the stress, forget all the hassle, forget all that. I'm mentally going into Thoreau's cabin, and we can make our own little bespoke cabins. I'm thinking one of the ideas I've got, which sounds a bit mad, so I'm not going to totally get obsessed with this, is the kind of seat that you have on the back of an elephant, if any of you have ever seen this, a real VIP, for the royalty to go around. I saw an exhibition of these in India, and I just thought, I want one. I want them all. Some are like 4-poster beds, you know, with curtains and lovely cushions, and some are like big golden sledges, and you know, you can do all kinds of different designs. And I thought, well, we can make our own little, you know, place where we go, and it'll be high up, so we're, you know, all the problems that we're trying to wade through are all kind of like tiny and down there below. We can look at the stars, the clouds, and the sunsets and everything. And we could have like waterfalls and fountains and leaping goldfish and all those kind of things. So this is just one idea I've got. But some of you, hopefully my team, might have other ideas about how we can actually make ourselves those little oases of calm that we can drift in and out of mentally. And what I'm going to do is put together some kind of like guided meditations to lead people through this. So it might sound a bit, I think my idea sounds the wackiest, but I've not heard the rest of them yet.